It should be live. There we go. We are now live. Happy days. Hello everybody and welcome to Pretty Ninja Racing. My name is Anders. I'll be your host for the next roughly 3 hours of pure racing entertainment around Donington Park International. Usually, when it's our anniversary of our community, we try and raise some form of funds for a charity, because even though it's very important that it's our anniversary of some sorts, we find it more important to try and raise a few funds towards a cause throughout the world. And this year we've decided that Race Against Dementia is the charity that we definitely want to try and assist this year. Our target isn't huge, it's only £250 because we are quite a small community out here in the vast open world of the internet. And currently we have 10 drivers within our 2-hour mini endurance race. But if you wish to donate at any point, all you have to do is type in !donate and it'll come up with a link. And if you donate, it doesn't matter how much you donate, it will help towards a fantastic cause. And you'll get to see Nigel Mansell eat a strawberry, which I think is a very good trade-off when that happens. So what is going to be the layout of today's race? Well, first is practice for half an hour. We're currently 8 minutes in, and they're going around Donington International Circuit, just trying to get the lay of the lands and making sure that they're all happy. After that, it's a 15-minute qualifying. They've already had a driver briefing, so they all know what I expect of them. And there will be a bit of live stewarding throughout today's event if I catch anything. Also, we will then go into a 2-hour race. And it's not that simple around Donington Park. It's not like Kyalami where you can drive for an hour pretty safely and the tyres are fairly okay, fuel load's all right and things like that. No, Donington really destroys tyres. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see drivers doing half an hour, 45-minute stints today just to try and offset it against their competition and to try and raise their game and raise their chances in winning today's race. But the true victor today will hopefully be Race Against Dementia, and we need your help for that. So like I said a moment ago, if you can type in !donate, you will see the link, and then you'll see Nigel Mansell eat a strawberry if you donate some money. Okay, but before we go trackside, I would like to just show you a quick video from Race Against Dementia. They've sent it to me to be able to use for this stream, and I'm very grateful and very honoured that they allowed us to do this. So here is the full cutaway and kind of the whole reason why Sir Jackie Stewart started this charity in the first place.
When I was racing, Helen was always by my side. We've been married for over 60 years. In 2015, Helen was diagnosed with dementia. It's a cruel disease with no cure, but I want to change that. We're urgently looking for breakthroughs in the prevention and cure of dementia. We sponsor the brightest and best scientific talent from around the world. We're fast-tracking research by bringing Formula One innovation into the laboratories. Working faster and smarter, together we can beat this disease. 1 in 3 people born today will die with dementia. Every 3 seconds, another person is diagnosed with dementia. Worldwide, more than 150 million people will have dementia by 2050. Race Against Dementia supports early career scientists in their research around the world. Our scientists are supported by the RAD Leadership and Development Programme.
So that's interesting to hear that from you. Race Against Dementia is going about it the right way, invested in new talent. I think there's a lot that we could learn. Being hungry for change is the way to go.
Let's beat dementia together.
there we go, ladies and gentlemen. So that is where your donations are going. It's not going to an F1 team. It's going to a charity set up by Sir Jackie Stewart after his wife in 2015 got diagnosed with dementia. And speaking to a few community members within Pretty Ninja Racing, it's common, which is a horrible thing to say. And it sounds a lot worse to have to experience it through a loved one as well. I personally am very lucky, and I know that I'm very lucky to have not had a family member or a friend that that has had dementia, but it's inevitable. There will be at some point in my life where I will have to try and understand how to deal and work with dementia and how I can make their lives as comfortable as possible. And that's another thing that Race Against Dementia tries to inform the masses about, how things can be a little bit better, such as music for the person that is suffering, and just kind of find a cure for what is such a horrible illness. But yeah, and in aid of trying to raise some funds, we're going to try and entertain you for 2 hours of racing around Donington Park International. 66, hello, I hope you are doing well. As you can see, we've currently hit 166 pounds rounded up. Our target's 250. So if you want to make a donation, make sure you type in ! donate, or check out the link in the description below. You don't have to like this stream, you don't have to subscribe to this channel. All we're interested in today is raising those funds for Race Against Dementia. And I will play the video regularly, shall we say, throughout today's race. At the moment, we're looking at Robsington in the Porsche. Currently setting some rather impressive lap times, actually, around the server. He's actually doing rather well currently, but he is currently being held up. But this is only practice. It's good for the drivers to get used to being in some form of line. It's going to be very tricky around Donington Park to make headway. Mayer currently sat in pre-5, who has also made a donation to today's race. Mark Colson in the Aston Martin has also made a donation. Lloyd has made a donation. Pindalier has made a donation in a nice white McLaren. I thought, if anything, the McLarens are going to do quite well today in this race. I feel like their tyre management is pretty decent compared to some of the other cars out there. Now, some of these do have custom skins on. Sadly, I don't have them, so you can't see how exciting and fun they are, which is a shame. And we are missing a couple of drivers, which is also a shame. I think there was at least 12, 13 sign-up before the race began, but there is still a little bit of time for them to join. They can join through free practice before the race can start, but yes, just the 10 of us. So how are you all doing on this, what is, where I live, an absolute gorgeous Saturday? I was expecting it to be a bit wet and murky and horrible. But it's actually quite lovely. But here we go, 15 minutes left of free practice. Then we got 15 minutes of qualifying where they try and get the most optimal position for the race in hand. I'm just going to open my shed door a little bit because it's actually getting quite toasty in here. It's getting rather toasty in here. But who else do we have here that looks to be quite an interesting one to watch? So Dio is in fact actually going to be a physical driver swap racer today. So there's 2 people racing today, because you could have a team of 2 or do it solo. But Bruno is actually racing with another physical human element today, so they will do an actual driver's shift today, which would be really interesting to see. A little bit shallow into the chicane complex. Maya is our highest rated by the looks of it, apparently. Gold rated driver, pro rated driver. So it'll be interesting to see how Maya gets on. Everyone repping the purple of P&R somewhere on their car. Not quite sure who's just behind Maya, but Coulson's currently in the pits. Letamy come around in the silver and black Aston Martin, but I actually believe he's got his own custom skin on today. Bruno's just missing out on T1. That's Sinton heading down the road in the purple Porsche. That's very nice. We've got a couple of different kind of HUDs that we could have today. So we've got our timetable, so we can see how people are currently lapping. Lloyd currently the fastest in the BMW M4, Skyring in second. Now, they did say that the BMW is going to be the car to keep an eye out for today. And here is Skyring with the black and purple BMW. So I just had someone in the Discord just be like, dude, I thought it started at 6. Like, no, it's going to finish around about 6. In fact, it should finish just after 5 o'clock. So everyone should be able to go and have a nice Saturday evening and enjoy this lovely weather. Yeah, right now. So we're looking at Skyring, who's dropped down to P3, and Pindalia has moved into P2. Sinton in P4, Mayer P5, Watt in P6, Letamy 7, Coulson 8th, Bruno in 9th, and J. Lloyd, spelled Joseph Lloyd in P10, who was driving the Porsche. And hopefully we'll get a good bit of experience out of today's race, if they are fairly new to it. The only thing I need to find out is how to log in as admin. So I'm not 100% sure. Now I'm just gonna minimize that a minute, go to Discord. So I will look at another driver in just a moment. I'm just making sure. Open chat. There it is. That's the one. This is over. Handbook. That's what I need apparently. Entrance cars additional spectators from self-fire change log. Sorry, I should have done this before. Sorry. There we go. Let's return to garage. Right, whilst I'm doing that, I'm just going to quickly show you the video from Race Against Dementia. 1 second.
When I was racing, Helen was always by my side. We'd been married for over 60 years. In 2015, Helen was diagnosed with dementia. It's a cruel disease with no cure, but I want to change that. We're urgently looking for breakthroughs in the prevention and cure of dementia. We sponsor the brightest and best scientific talent from around the world. We're fast-tracking research by bringing Formula One innovation into the laboratories. Working faster and smarter, together we can beat this disease. 1 in 3 people born today will die with dementia. Every 3 seconds, another person is diagnosed with dementia. Worldwide, more than 150 million people will have dementia by 2050. Race Against Dementia supports early career scientists in their research around the world. Our scientists are supported by the RAD Leadership and Development Programme. That's interesting to hear that from you.
Race Against Dementia is going about it the right way, invested in new talent. I think there's a lot that we could learn. Being hungry for change is the way to go.
Let's beat dementia together. When I was racing, Helen was always by my side.
So here we go. We're still trackside. Sorry, I just had to get all the admin such and such sorted. So now I have the actual commands ready. So I can see who Janice. So we should have one more driver joining in any moment. Patterson, hopefully they will be able to get in time. Should be able to. Plenty of time left. There we go. should also be able to get a couple of onboards. Yeah, sorry, just learning a couple of bits. So that's onboard 3, onboard 2. Helicam. Cool. Okay. Feel pretty set. I feel pretty set and ready. So yeah, if you're watching this on your TV, you'll be able to scan the QR code there to donate towards the cause. And if you're brand new to this channel, don't be scared to say hello. It'll be good to have a bit of company for the endurance race that's about to happen. And here is another driver that's just joined. Just in us. Just managed to get in on time. In fact, there should be one more then. We should have 12. But I should be able to get in absolutely fine, really. So I'm not entirely sure where they are, but never mind. Okay. But we are just focusing now. It looks like Skyring and Pindalia have just managed to find a bit of pace. Lloyd has dropped down to P3. Sinton is in P4. Watt is still in P5. Mayer is currently in the pits but sitting in P6. Letterme in 7th. Coulson, who is currently got a bit of frontal damage by the looks of it. From Yosef. Hopefully Yosef will be able to get something out of this at least, because they are lapping considerably slower than the rest of the field. Not entirely sure what they're doing. If they're here to try and be, you know, funny or trolly, it won't last very long. We're here for a bigger purpose today. But yeah, they won't last very long if they to take people out. And the session
green light, go go go,
is over. So we're now just waiting for the cars to roll out for their starting qualifying lap. What is already out there by the looks of it. There we go. So what is going to be the first car to try and set a fast lap here? And we see a long trail of cars in between. Sorry, I got to tab out to get to the application that controls what cars I can see and what camera angles and so on and so forth. So apologies about that. There we go. That's more like it. There we go. Cool. So, right. I reckon we should go on board with Watt to see how their first lap is around Donington Park. Car number 6 is still in the pits, which is letting me. Just trying to get some nice clear bit of road. So here we go. Donington Park International. Watt goes over the starting line. You want to try and use the pit lane as much as you can to open the apex into turn 1. Riding the curve very nicely there. Are they going to be flat down the curves into the old hairpin? Yeah, completely flat. Lovely. Couple of drops back on the power nice and early as we come back up the hill past the old bridge, old railway bridge. Into what is a tricky braking zone to a right-hander, but you can carry a little bit of speed. Yeah, he's having to just play with the gears there to help keep the car on track. Could have carried a lot more speed through there really, but not a bad first lap. Back up the hill. Now this is the most awkward, for me, it's the most awkward corner around Donington Park. This over crest left-hander. You really want to try and get on the power early, but if you do so, you're just going to go straight off the circuit. So Watt goes over the line with a 129.77. Sadly, the overall marker, I wonder if there's a way that I can change how that looks. What if I press that? Yeah, that's what I want. There we go, now we can see some times. Happy days. So not a bad time by Watt there. Next driver I want to keep an eye on is Skyring, who's just coming up to the hairpin now. Car 6 and car 11 are fairly close together. Let me... And I don't see a car 11. 12, sorry, car 12. And Skyring goes into P1 for 127.9. Faster than Max Verstappen around Suzuka. So that just goes to show how great Max Verstappen is if he can kind of keep up to the same sort of pace times as Skyring here. I'm not sure if they're able to join through quali. One driver is just stating that he wasn't able to find a server with the codes that were given. Everyone else has got on alright, so it's definitely something on their end. Skyring comes over the line to get a new fastest lap time, 27.6. Pintilier in third. Where is Lloyd? Lloyd is currently hasn't set a valid lap time yet. The purple and orange machine, but should be up there. Sinton's now in P5, Mayer in P4, Coulson P6, Bruno in P7. Or Team Bruno, I'm going to call him Team Bruno. purely because I don't know if it's going to be Bruno or their friend that's actually driving. But the Delta is looking pretty good here for Lloyd. Not bad, not bad. It comes over the line for 128.347. Not a terrible time at all. Watt is also not doing particularly poorly. Sinton has just crossed the line and gone into P5. With Mayer in P6. Can Josef get some clean laps on the board? Let's hope so. Sadly, a little bit of an error there for Josef. I think they're just still learning the track, really. I don't think they've really driven this before and just hopped in. Not going particularly quickly, though. The only other driver that hasn't set a lap time yet is Fabrice Lettermy, the Belgian. It's also not set a lap time in. Hopefully Josef will be able to get a clean lap in fairly soon. Oh, and Fabricius braking too late for that chicane. Not able to get over the timing line. It's going to be an invalid lap for them. Pindelia is now within 2 tenths of Skyring. But at the end of the day, it's a 2-hour race, so you can really qualify anywhere. Really. It's about consistency in an endurance race. Not necessarily being the quickest, but just having... yeah, just being the first one over the line at the slowest, most consistent pace. Which sounds silly. And Watt is currently off the circuit. Coming back in. Here we go. Hopefully Fabrice will finally get a lap time in. Josef has got a lap time in, a 140.1, so not too bad. 6 seconds off the closest racer. Taking out a little bit shallow there, Fabrice, to my eyes. Coming to the hairpin. To cut off the apex. Car number 10 is currently off the circuit. Bruno currently off out of the way. As we go back on board with Fabrice, who comes over the timing line hopefully and moves up to P8 with a 130.262. So not terrible. I think a 129 or 130 would be a really good race pace. And if you're able to consistently do that for 2 hours, I think you're in with a very good shout. Especially if the cars in front stay together and pick each other. Pindelia, Lloyd and Skyring. The three of those only 6 tenths, 7 tenths between each other. Should hopefully give us an interesting race for the lead, but you never know. It could be people like Mayer, it could be people like Sinton, could be people like Watts that just kind of come in from underneath their noses and take the position away from them. Watt is currently still in the pit. Sinton in the purple Porsche. Still trying to get a better lap time, 29.5. Nicely done there by Singleton. Nice exit, but not using all of the circuit. Gets a 28.7. So moves up to P4, pushes Watt down to P5. And we've lost a driver as well by the looks of it. We're now down to 10. Not sure who. Seem to have lost a driver for some reason. Not quite sure who. But since it's now on a cool me down lap. Just part of the driver's briefing that I gave earlier. Try and get a quick lap in. Get out of the way for anyone else that might be on a quick lap. And then start your next quick lap. Just basically, you know, treat how you want your laps to be treated. Donington Park is quite a tight circuit. As we wait for the camera to catch up. And we can see the purple Porsche, Pindalia and Skyring all sat in the pits, which means Lloyd is the only one out there and currently in the wall. Stacked it. And is now back into the pit lane with only 2 minutes left to go. I think everyone should be pretty happy with where they're starting. There's only 10 cars on the grid. So it should be a pretty decent sort of race. Car number 4 parked up somewhere. That was Mayer. So Watt just comes over the Simon line to start their fast lap. What can they bring to the table? Excuse the pun. As we are also looking at Justinas. Looking quite quick. But where's Watt? Watt and someone just bopped Watt off the circuit there. I'm not sure if that was Mayer. No. It was definitely another Porsche. Josef did say if they were going to start causing a few problems. And Watt was on a fast lap there. Is there a way? Let me just see. Don't think there is a way that I can do it through the app really. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what we can do, but what's now left a massive gap between themselves and car number 6. Hopefully this will be a good lap for Watt and be able to challenge. Lloyd is in P3, Sinton still P4. Watt is pretty much the last flying car out there. I'm not entirely sure if car number 7, no, just done his own, and Watt's had a bit of an off. We'll keep it going and we will just see how it all goes. Oh, and he's gone. He's gone. We'll return to the garage, and that means Watt is starting from P5. Could be a little bit disheartened there, really. I can understand that. What a shame to start the last fast lap. Yeah, it is a shame. My tyres are ducked, says Watt. But this could be an interesting start to the race. We'll keep an eye out. And I'm gonna move to a different driver. Just got to hop it in and out. And whilst we're waiting, well, I'll wait until the race starts. We'll wait until it settles down, and then I will show you again the whole reason why we're doing today's 2-hour endurance race for Race Against Dementia. Sorry, Race Against Dementia. Which you can find the link to our Just Giving page in the description below, or type in !donate. And any small donation you can give will help towards reaching our goal of £250. And if you do donate through one of the links through stream, you'll see Nigel Mansell eat a strawberry, which everybody loves to see. So let's start off with a nice wide screen. We'll start off watching Pindalia here in P2. We'll be the first one to push everybody. It'll be interesting to see how they all do in this race. But good to see you here, Bums, by the way. And if you are watching at home, just take a couple of minutes, because this race start could be quite hairy. Lloyd is in the pits. So Lloyd is starting from the pits. So that must be the glitch that I experienced for some reason in the Kyalami race. So Lloyd is going to be quite annoyed, but as we learnt through the Kyalami race, it's not always a bad thing. And there's all of the cars just kind of muddling up. Unless that was a tactical decision by Lloyd to start in the pits, I don't know, but he should be able to go pretty much straight from the off. And as they come over the timing line to start the 2-hour race,
Green light, show them what you got.
we got 2 drive-throughs for Watt and Bruno, probably for being out of position. Because there's Watt down in P3 already. As everyone seems to have made it through T1 alive. And Pindalia has fallen right down past Mayer, so down into P4. And Lloyd is now out of the pits, getting a groove on. Skyring currently in the lead. Watt has a drive-through, and so does Bruno, which is not going to help them. They have to do it within 3 laps. Because they would have been out of position on the race start. It did look like Watt was very aggressive on the race start. And out of position according to the game. And to be fair, Lloyd is not that far behind. He's only 1 corner. So they've done well. Skyring is setting a quick and early pace there. As we take a look at Pindalia, who's behind Mayer. And there's a little train of cars coming here from P3 to P8 by the looks of it. And just Dennis. Oh, and Josef dives down the inside, causes a massive collision, which will be a straight up penalty. Like, I can't not give a penalty for that. You just literally take a Mark Coulson off the road. Doesn't matter if I return to garage. So I need to remember how to give a penalty, because I've never done it before on ACC. So let's give it a go. Car number 12. So a drive-through penalty for car number 12. We have a stop and go penalty for Iwatt as well. So that's that penalty given. Sorry, it will have to. I have to like tab out to be able to change camera on this game. It's quite annoying. As it does look like Josef is just not able to keep the car on the track, and they do have a drive-through which they need to get done and out the way. What? Are they going to get their 30-second penalty out of the way? They are. Get it done, what? Just get it done. Get out of the way. Bruno still has a drive-through to do. So, recap. Skyring currently in the race lead. Mayer in P2. Simpson in P3. Coming up the hill very closely behind Mayer. Pindalia in P4. Bruno P5 but has a drive-through to take. Lemmy P6. Justinas in P7. Lloyd in P8, who is not too far away behind. Only 1/10 away from Justinas by the looks of it, apparently. Well, I'm not entirely sure that's correct, to be honest. I think he's actually got past Justinas. He has. Just hasn't updated yet. Mark Coulson in P9. Watt is currently in the pit serving his 30-second penalty. And hopefully they'll get that out of the way. And Yosef has got a drive-through. But at the moment it's more likely just to be kicked because of poor driving standards, really. Yeah, it's looking that way, sadly. He is all over the place, isn't he? Bruno is sadly disqualified because they didn't take the drive-through. Hang on a minute then. So car number 10 keep racing. Not sure if they can actually see that. It's very tricky to do all of this on Metod. Car number 10, your disqualification's been cleared. Get driving.
Yes, but I am in my position normally. I have.
Anders, can you chuck it into a different radio room, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tap.
Sorry.
Cameron's got some cars to clear.
You what?
You've got some cars to clear.
I'm just going to move people into a different channel. A minute. Yeah, you should be good to go, Bruno. You should be able to just drive. If you go click drive, you should be able to go.
Yeah, I don't know why.
You got a drive-through. Yeah, you had a drive-through straight off the race start. I think because there was a bit of a glitch. So you did have a drive-through that you needed to take, but you should be able to just hit drive and keep going now.
I don't have a drive-through.
You did at the beginning.
No.
Because I'm the server admin, I saw that you had a drive-through at the beginning. So I've cleared that. Sadly, it disqualified you, so I've cleared that. You should now be able to drive and continue your race.
Yes, but now I have more lap.
Yeah,
before, so.
I sadly not much I can do about that, but yeah, you can continue if you want to. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So yeah, so car 10 can go. Yeah, there's not a lot I can do about Bruno. He definitely got the drive through. We're just gonna have to kick 12 because I currently just sat in the. It's just been kicked from the server. I don't like doing that, but I just don't want anyone else's race to get disrupted by it. Because I just want to keep with the action, essentially. So Bruno, Team 0, should be able to continue racing. Hopefully they will. Because anything can happen, you know. You just don't know what's going to happen. People can get, you know, track limit penalties or anything. But yeah, I don't like doing that, but sadly, there's not a lot more I can do. So the gap between Skyring and Rabamus is now 8 seconds. So Skyring is clearly making massive headway right now. But yeah, it's entirely up to Bruno whether they want to get going again, but I think they should. Just hit drive and get going. Yosef has been forced out of the server due to poor driving standards, which doesn't help Coulson, who's currently sat in P7, but there is not a lot more we can do about that. Rabamus just needs to keep that fresh track in front of them and hope everyone else just kind of relaxes into some sort of rhythm. Lloyd is now P6, making some good grounds against Ledemy. So we go on board with Lloyd. Oh, and Lemmy has a bit of a squirrely moment. If we come down the hill. Lemmy, runs wide. Lloyd gains the position. And that moves him up to P6. So Lloyd is definitely a driver on a mission. Not quite setting the fastest lap of the race so far, but certainly not far off the pace of our current race leader, Skyring, who is putting in some fairly consistent laps, but has already slowed the pace up. Well, I say slowed the pace up, it's only 2 tenths slower than his current best. So Skyring could be the one that takes full advantage of the carnage that has happened so far. Bruno is still sitting in the pits and is a few laps behind, but it is up to Bruno what they do now. It is up to Bruno what they do. There's nothing more I can do. It should have come up on their screen saying that they had a drive-through, and yeah, Bruno is gone. There's just not anything I can do about lost laps from people getting drive-throughs at the beginning of the race. So we're now down to 9 drivers. The 9 core drivers of the event. And it looks like a good time for our cutaway. Please take attention to the video you're about to witness.
When I was racing, Helen was always by my side. We've been married for over 60 years. In 2015, Helen was diagnosed with dementia. It's a cruel disease with no cure, but I want to change that. We're urgently looking for breakthroughs in the prevention and cure of dementia. We sponsor the brightest and best scientific talent from around the world. We're fast-tracking research by bringing Formula One innovation into the laboratories. Working faster and smarter, together we can beat this disease. 1 in 3 people born today will die with dementia. Every 3 seconds, another person is diagnosed with dementia. Worldwide, more than 150 million people will have dementia by 2050. Race Against Dementia supports early career scientists in their research around the world. Our scientists are supported by the RAD Leadership and Development Programme.
That's interesting to hear that from you.
Race Against Dementia is going about it the right way, invested in new talent. I think there's a lot that we could learn. Being hungry for change is the way to go.
Let's beat dementia.
And that's the whole reason why we're doing this race today. We're 10 minutes in, and we're here aiming to raise £250 for Race Against Dementia. If you haven't made a donation already, type an exclamation mark donation into the chat. and give what you can. It could be as little as £1, $1, €1. It all adds up and supports a fantastic course founded by Sir Jackie Stewart. But back to the action on track. So here is Pindalia currently being followed by Watts, who is currently in 9th position and is a lap down. But clearly keeping up with the first group of drivers in the pack. So in theory, if Watt can keep this pace going, they should be able to gain that lap back, no problem. But again, anything can happen in 2 hours. We just don't know. Someone could spin off, lose a bit of time, get damaged, have to go into the pits. You just don't know. What we do know, however, is that our current race leader, Skyring, is just not letting up, setting low 129s and is running wide. So we're 10 minutes in and those tyres are probably already getting rather hot, rather slippy. And then the next group is between Lloyd and Lettermy, who are currently working together by the looks of it, really, keeping a nice little gap between each other to try and catch this front four. And I think it's going to happen pretty quickly. I mean, Lloyd here, just themselves, is lapping almost a second a lap quicker than Pindalia in 4th place in front of them. So I don't think it'll be too long, maybe 3 or 4 laps before we see Lloyd catching up to that pack of 4. And in the back we have Coulson and Justinas just going steady, which is all you need to do for a race like this. You just need to keep it nice and steady. Coulson sadly getting in that collision with Josef earlier in the race. Totally unnecessary. And there goes a plane landing at Donington Airport. Lovely stuff. Makes it hard to believe that there should be a helicopter flying around, really. But there is. Here's helicopter cam. And Coulson's going to be the lucky driver to receive it. So come over the timing line. 1:32, 2 seconds off their fastest lap. And 5 tenths slower than the car behind. So Coulson's clearly either got a little bit of rear damage, which I wouldn't be surprised because it was a hefty hit. And car number 4, who is Mayer, has had an off at the old hairpin. So this is what I said. Anything can really happen. So that makes Pindalia move up into P3. And Watt has also got by. And Sinton is now got a nice bit of clear air around. But Watt is in person on the mission at the end of the day. Trying to get that 1 lap down reduced. And try and get back onto the same lap time as the race leaders. And I personally think Watt could do it. But they will be getting blue flags right now. So they just need to be careful and give way if need be. There you can see the marshal just giving Watt the blue flag because Pindalia isn't exactly slow. But it will be interesting to see. Lloyd has now moved up into P4 past Mayer, who must have had another incident. There's no real reason why he should have lost this many places. Could well be that the tyres are burning up because a lot of these people, when they've been practicing, have been worried about the 1 lap distance time that they can get. Whereas Sinton, who's currently sat in P2, is probably the only driver that's actually done a 45-minute to an hour stint. So they know how their cars are feeling. But car number 1 is currently P number 1. And is doing high 29s now. Which is the same as what Sinton's been doing the whole race. So clearly, the tyres are getting to a certain part of their life right now already with only 20 minutes in. So yes, they may have a nice 1 lap, hot lap racer. But it might not be the best endurance car. And 2 hours may not seem like a long time, but it's long enough. These people will be very tired this evening. Whereas I will feel nice and refreshed and enjoy a lovely Indian takeaway tonight, I think. Why not? It's a gorgeous day. Gorgeous cause. Might as well have some gorgeous food to top it off. But it's a shame that we've lost a few drivers. I think next time we do an ACC endurance event, we'll either try WSS again or maybe somewhere else, but we will use WSS for all of our AC events going forwards for sure, because it's just the best platform. Really love that community that we have grown here at Pretty Ninja Racing. And speaking of community, our community is turning 2 years old this year on the 27th. On the 27th we turn 2 years old, which is crazy. I never thought that we would get to this sort of point, but here we are. And I'm very grateful for everyone that's in it, that makes it the community that it is. But we can see Pindalia is really crawling all over the rear end of Watt now, and we don't want Watt to get a penalty, because that's what the game will do. It will give him a penalty if he doesn't get, you know, out of the way at some point. And Pindalia is also very acutely aware now that there is a J Lloyd in the BMW chasing him down lap by lap by lap. I keep on hearing Discord going off, and I have a look, and I don't see anything. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. But Pendalia has now got past Watt. I think Watt led them through. Purely because Lloyd over here in the BMW, based off the lap times, is on a bit of a mission here. He lapped almost a second quicker than Pindalia in the last lap, so we'll have to wait and see. I reckon the first lap time could come, first pit stop, sorry, could come around the 1 hour and 20-minute mark, just to try and offset things a little bit, as Watt takes a lot of grass, keeps it on the track. As the two McLarens are kind of working together here. Pindalia trying to pull Watt along, but Lloyd in the BMW is definitely making some waves. Watt's heavy on the brakes. Side of the corners. That BMW is certainly cutting through the air rather nicely. Everyone's in the well, apart from our race leader on one side of the track, so there's plenty of space around, which is nice to see. Justanas is still leading up the pack on the lead lap at least. Did a 1:32.3 last lap, which I think is actually quite a nice race pace. That is quite a nice race pace. But Skyring has gone back to the 1:28s. So he's pulling a nice lead here against Sinton. And here is Skyring. Not a lot of pressure for Skyring. And here comes our race leader to start lap 15. 23 or 22 minutes and a half in. And Skyring is creating quite the gap here between themselves and Sinton. About 20 seconds now. I believe Sinton's just come across the race line. Yeah, there they are. Slowly picking up the pace themselves as well for 1:29.9. Half a second slower than Skyring ahead. But Rabbit is very consistent. And has definitely got away from the pack, but Lloyd has got past What? Because the blue flags would have been waving. And the car in front you can see here is Pindelia in P3. And Lloyd after starting in the pits. Oh no, it's having a moment. Oh no, and they clip Watt. I think Watt got away with that. Yeah, they did. So Lloyd having a moment around that tricky right-hander. Relieving the pressure off Pindelia there. And there's Mayer in the Porsche. And Lloyd's rear tyres are going to be absolutely scuffed and probably a bit of damage. Lloyd just needs to be smart here, let Mayer through. I mean, I did say offset your race strategy. It's been 25 minutes. This would definitely offset it. Have nice clear air to get through. But we just had to witness Lloyd have a moment in the BMW. Very quick driver. But Lloyd will press on. Like I said, I think it'll be about the 1 hour 20. It's when we start to see the pits happening. Odds Lloyd. Uh-oh. Oh no. Not great. Not great, but yeah, James Lloyd having a moment. I would say it's pretty new, but I would be lying to you. But welcome everybody. We are 25 minutes into this race. It's been a few moments as Lloyd is currently putting Mayer under pressure. It's not the place you want to overtake really. Down to chicane maybe, or down to the hairpin. Mayer having a bit of a wobble coming out there. Bit slow, and Mayer's gone off the circuit, so it's going to be an easy pickup for Lloyd. And Mayer, can he keep it on the track? Oh, he just misses the barrier. It's the last thing you want is to get damage from the barrier. It's dirty tyres now. And that makes Mark Coulson move up into P6. So here we go. Clearly 25 minutes in and the tyres are already starting to complain to the drivers that they are struggling. But Mark Coulson, the South African, definitely taking that freebie. As we take a look at our race leader. So again, today we are here. If you're brand new to this channel, welcome. My name is Anders and I'm the founder of Pretty Ninja Racing. We started 2 years ago, and in celebration of our 2-year anniversary, we like to do a race and raise some money for charity. It's not usually a great deal, you know, we're not exactly like the Jimmy Broadbent of the sim racing world, but we certainly try to do what we can, and this year we decided to go for Race Against Dementia. And if you wish to donate and help our cause, just check out the link in the description below, or type in !donate, and you can donate from as little as £1 USD and euro, and it all adds up. We're trying to hit our target of 250, which you can see in the top. And if you donate, you'll see Nigel Mansell eat a strawberry. And who doesn't want that? Who doesn't like seeing Nigel Mansell eat a strawberry? But that's enough of me trying to tell you why we're here. Let me see if Sasaki Stewart can convince you to just donate a tiny little bit of your money.
When I was racing, Helen was always by my side. We've been married for over 60 years. In 2015, Helen was diagnosed with dementia. It's a cruel disease with no cure, but I want to change that. We're urgently looking for breakthroughs in the prevention and cure of dementia. We sponsor the brightest and best scientific talent from around the world. We're fast-tracking research by bringing Formula One innovation into the laboratories. Working faster and smarter, together we can beat this disease. 1 in 3 people born today will die with dementia. Every 3 seconds, another person is diagnosed with dementia. Worldwide, more than 150 million people will have dementia by 2050. Race Against Dementia supports early career scientists in their research around the world. Our scientists are supported by the RAD Leadership and Development Programme.
That's interesting to hear that from you.
Race Against Dementia is going about it the right way, invested in new talent. I think there's a lot that we could learn. Being hungry for change is the way to go.
Let's beat dementia together.
So there we go. That's the whole reason why we're doing this race today, to try and convince you to donate essentially the price of a coffee towards a great cause that has affected quite clearly many people throughout the world. As it looks like Rabba Sinton has had a moment, because he's dropped off massively compared to Skyring. I mean, he's not doing terrible lap times, but in this lap in particular, he seems to have dropped off the pace rather a lot, as the race lead just crosses the start-finish line right now. But I hope you're all doing well in chat. Feel free to say hello, have a conversation. Ask me anything you like about this or the charity, anything like that. Anything that I can do to convince you to part ways with your hard-earned money. Just for today. You don't need to subscribe, you don't even need to like. Just looking for that sweet, sweet financial nectar. In all fairness, Rabamus actually, Sinton, who we've seen on screen, actually set a faster lap time than the race leader right now. So clearly, I was very wrong about the fact that Rabba was dropping off the pace. On average, he's doing quite well right now. But those tyres must be dying of death a little bit. Even though we've had... Oh, Rabamus! Oh, just holding on to it there. Tyres are going to be a little bit dirty. There's Pindalia. Where has Watt gone? Watt has dropped off the pace a little bit. I hope they haven't accepted the fact that, you know, they are a lap down. They're not that far behind the race leader, realistically. If the race leader goes in for a pits and gets fueled up and gets a new set of tyres, what will get past them? So it's a very, very tricky race to manage for Watt here. The Skyring has just set a rather tasty lap, only being matched by the likes of Lloyd down in P4. Now, it states that they're 1 lap behind. They're not. It's just that they haven't crossed the line to start the same lap time that the leader is on. So they've not actually been lapped yet. And we saw Lloyd just in the background there. 11 seconds behind Pindalia. In all fairness, Watt is making some absolute decent lap times. He had a bit of a rough one last lap, but he's certainly lapping quicker than Josannes, who's clearly had a bit of a moment, trying to get a bit of dirt off their tyres with their flashing lights. And sadly, Josannes has actually been lapped now by the race leader. But if Watt keeps going at this pace, Watt could gain a on-track position. Justinas is doing rather well here. Just need to keep it going. Just need to keep it going. But everybody, bar the race leader, is in Sector 3 right now. As Rabimus just comes over the start line to start his lap 22. What close battles are there? Car number 8 against car number 6, and Mark Coulson, the South African, is chasing down the Belgian in Letterme. Both in the Aston Martin. As we are 35 minutes into this race. But YouTube, I hope you're all doing well. And it also looks like Mayer is catching to the rear end of Mark Coulson here. So Mayer may well be in with a shot of gaining an on-track position fairly soon. As we go on board with Mayer. The Skyring is just completely gone. Does sound rather nice. But we'll give it a little bit longer and we'll try and catch up with the drivers. Because most of them pretty much in our Discord channel. You can hear May is starting off in really low gears, trying to get as much acceleration out of their car as possible. But currently lapping a tenth slower than Coulson in front, but half a second quicker than Fabrice in P5. So these two drivers, Coulson and Mayer, may well be catching up with the driver soon. Watt is currently in the pit, so he's our first driver of the day to pit. I did say to do an offset. 40 minutes is a pretty good offset. Just falling another lap down, which is a shame, but they've pitted, which is the main thing, and now they've got some nice clear air to get whatever pace down that they can. So hopefully Watt will make some good gains this time around. Get some good lap times in, because the pace is there. So Watt's last lap was a 1:34.55. Now that includes going into the pits. So on average he was doing 1:30s by the looks of it. So that's 4 seconds going in, and then we'll see what lap time it is when he crosses the line in a moment, and we'll see what the estimated pit stop length time is. As he comes over the line, does a 2:23. So 4:30, 50, almost a minute, effectively 50 odd minute pit stop, 50 second, sorry, pit stop that everybody will probably end up doing. So Rabamus is currently being heavily caught up. Oh no, Rabamus is catching up, sorry. Justinas in P8 right now. Hopefully Justinas will let them through. Justinas has for some reason got the hazard lights on, but the blue flags have been waved. Rambus doesn't want to sit behind the back marker for too long, especially if they're making little mistakes like that. And out of the way Justinas goes. Nicely done, Justinas. Didn't really lose too much time for either driver there. I mean, the car racing Justinas is I what? And let's just say they're a good while behind. About, I would almost say like half a lap, if not more, almost a full lap behind. So Justinas doesn't need to worry too much, but they will need to do a pit stop relatively soon, as our race leader still continuing on. But some people want to try and do the one stop, and to be fair, with the pace that Skyring's got right now, and depending on how these tyres are doing, a one stop is very much on the cards for Skyring. Rabamus, I feel like, maybe try and mimic what Skyring does, but I just don't think that Porsche is going to be able to do the same. But where is Lloyd? Going around T1 now. And car number 3 is Pindalia. And again, Lloyd is setting some rather tasty laps. Consistently tasty laps. She's just got to keep it consistent. And hopefully we'll be able to see a little bit of on-track action. You can see Pindalia there going through the chicane. Currently sitting behind car number 4, which is Mayer. Oh no, currently sat behind car number 7. Where is car number 4? Car number 4 is all the way up there. So Mayer, Justinas really neatly lets Pindalia through there. Mayer is currently being chased down by Letterme, or rather Letterme seems to be behind Mayer right now. So Mayer's going to say it's taking a little bit of time to catch up, but Mayer has actually got by Letterme now. Coulson's now also catching up Letterme, and Letterme has gone off, so that's going to be a freebie for Coulson. And that's an easy move there for Coulson. I'm not sure where to let him. He's just not quite getting that braking zone right. Or whether the tyres are starting to wear out a little bit. Oh, and Coulson looks like he's going into the pits. So Coulson, 43 minutes in, is doing a pit stop. So again, like I said, offsetting. I said to the drivers beforehand, you want to offset your pits. Because I don't think, well, one stop is doable, but I don't think it's the quickest. But it depends how many seconds you're going to drop off your fastest lap time. I mean, this race leader off their best lap time is dropping off 2 seconds a lap right now. And we're 30 laps in. And we've only done 40 minutes of racing. So we are talking close to an 80 lap race here. So you do want to give yourself those mental and physical breaks, which is what the pit stops are there for, really. As car number 9 has just gone by, which is Rabbit. Car number 3 has just gone by, which is Pindalia. And car number 2 and car number 7 have also just gone by. So Justinis has let Lloyd through. And once again, Lloyd on that lap is setting some absolute lightning laps right now. So let's take a recap. Apparently we have the best session lap that we can view. I don't know how we can view it though. Apparently. But what we can do is this really neat feature where we can do a little replay and just watch what kind of happens with Lloyd going through the old hairpin. Nice exit out of the corner. And away they go. And it's 30 seconds long, this one. And we should jump back to the action now. There we go. So we can hear car number 3 just going past start finish line now. Coulson's got one of their pit stops out of the way. Second one's definitely on the cards. I reckon Skyring is going to go for the hour long and try and pit. Whether Rabomus is going to do the same thing, I don't know. And we can see what in the background. Putting in some rather good laps. Look at that, 129.5. Rather good laps there by Iment. It's just a shame about the drive-through at the first part of the race and then getting a stop and go. I'm not quite sure what that would have been for. Maybe speeding into the pit lane. Only themselves to blame, but it's a very good learning curve. They've never done endurance racing before. Just keep going, because you just don't know what's going to happen. You really don't. You really don't know. But I meant doing a grand job here. We're keeping it going. Coulson again is a car that has pitted and is not that far behind car number 7 in front, really. It's just a hairpin coming up to go. So don't really see there being too much of a problem as Rabomus has come into the pits to do their pit stop. So Pindalia is probably just driven by. Not quite yet. Yeah, they have, sorry. Pindalia has driven by. And so has Lloyd. So Sinton will drop down a few positions here, but they're going to have some nice rubber. A full tank of fuel. And what it will also do is make the last stint of their race short. Which means fresh rubber, low fuel, fast laps. So it's a very good way of making sure that your last stint in endurance race is quick, effectively. Sinton comes out down in P5 now, but again, and there's the race leader Skyring just behind, but I won't worry too much about it. Rabbit, you got fresh rubber, maybe a little bit cold, but you'll be able to get going pretty quickly. But what will be interesting to see if Rabbit can pull away from Skyring, because if that's the case, he will close up the gap to Skyring just that little bit, and we don't know what sort of pit stop Skyring's going to do. He's going to have to do a full fuel pit stop and all of the tyres, whereas Sinton probably didn't burn through all of their fuel. So, you know, it would have taken less time to fuel up compared to what Skyring's going to have to do in the pit box. But with 32 laps in here, and I think there is plenty of action about to be happening throughout the course. Lloyd doesn't really need to pit unless they have to, because he's now starting to push Pindalia. And Skyring's rear end is a little bit wobbly coming out of the corner there. 222 coming out of the pit, so that's about right. .52-second pit stop there for Sinton, and to the naked eye they're pulling away from Skyring, who is out in front, so we'll see what it's like on this lap. But let's just take a quick look at Lloyd, who is currently making gains on Pindalia and P. Oh, and Pindalia spun it! Oh no, Lloyd's going to get a nice position there into P2. And Pindalia's going to have to go into pits, and that's going to take more time. No, he's not going into the pits. He's going to have aero damage and everything. Okay. I am surprised Pindalia did not pit then. Because now they're going to have front aero damage, and around Donington Park, that's major. So Lloyd, even though they had a little bit of a wobble earlier, is now in the prime seat to challenge Rabamus. Speaking of Rabamus, where are they? Rabamus is now coming over the start-finish line, so we'll take a look at the times. 129.4, 129.9, so Rabamus is half a second quicker that lap compared to the race leader. So it just goes to show how much fresh rubber really does make a difference. And this is why I was saying maybe a two-stopper would be a bit more ideal. Especially if Rabbit's that consistent with it. Catching up to car number 6, letting me in front, who hasn't pitted yet. And technically they're in a race with Coulson, who didn't do a particularly great lap last lap. Mayer is currently sitting behind them on track, but Mayer is currently P4. So this is where all the cars start to get a little bit jumbled. P2 Lloyd, yeah. P2 for Lloyd. Currently, after they come out of the pits, they'll be around about P6. But when everyone's been in the pits, he should come out around about P3. Should do. Oz Lloyd, who could that be? I'm trying to think who you may well be. I got a funny feeling your name's Owen. Just sticking it out there. Because I heard rumours. And Pindalia is now in the pits. As I expected. But this pit stop's going to take a while. This is going to be an easy 1 minute pit stop. Easy 1 minute pit stop here for Pindalia. As Mayer now moves into P3, but again Mayer hasn't done a pit stop. Fabrice and Rabamus are currently at tussles, but Rabamus has just got the pace. And yeah, I thought it was Owen. Mr. Jammer did say he might pop along. It's good to see you, my guy. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well, my man. Sinton should easily get by Lettermy now with the fresh rubber. Look at the difference. Oh, and Pindalia's got a drive-through. What is that drive-through for? I'm not entirely sure, but Pindelia has got a drive-through penalty. I can only assume it's for speeding in the pit lane. So Pindelia's race is dangerously coming untwined here for the battle for P3, especially with Rabimus setting some absolute flying laps right now. Lapping 1 second a lap quicker than Skyring, so Skyring needs to be careful here. Even though the lead was 20 seconds, if Skyring's pace is going to get a little bit slower lap by lap by lap, like consistently, then in theory Rabimus should close the gap right up, because Skyring's going to have to do a long pit stop. Been out for longer, so therefore more fuel is going to have been burnt. Obviously all 4 tyres need to be done. It's going to come out, it's going to be cold tyres. Rabimus's car has got new tyres, it's only getting lighter lap by lap. It's had a break. It's going to be an interesting matchup for the race end, I think, but realistically Skyring, unless he makes mistakes, should have it in the bag, really. But Pindelia still has a drive-through. Just going to go in Discord and make sure that he's aware.
The traffic.
Yo.
You're aware that you got a drive-through, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know how, unless you can tell me how.
I can only assume it's for speeding in the pit lane.
It was.
Yeah, but I had the limiter on. I went too early on the limiter.
I don't know.
As in going in, and then I was out. I was too late because I was sleeping. But
right. But yeah, not sure, but I can only assume that's what it's for.
Yeah, you can watch it in the replay.
Ooh, yes, that's
Later.
true. I'll have a little look. Yeah, I think I might be able to do it now. So I'll have a look.
Maybe I missed the line or something.
But you may have to save it now,
Yes.
because the maximum time is 75 minutes.
Okay. No worries. I'll have a little look. So let's do a little bit of wizardry and have a look at what happened to Pindelia to see why they got the drive-through penalty. So what we can do, we can go here and we can go here. And we want to change car to car number 3. Wherever they are. There they are. And then we can change the camera. So we are now watching, as we're coming up to the end, you can see the damage on the bonnet. Yeah, going off of that, I don't really know. Yeah, he left it on. So, honestly, don't quite know. Don't know why Pindelia got a drive through there. Not entirely sure. But here they go through the pits. But as you can see, Nightbot there has just put the link down for a donation for Race Against Dementia. Drive through now cleared for Pindelia. As we can see that Justinus is in the pits now. But yeah, I couldn't really tell why Pindelia got a drive through there, to be honest. Not sure. But yeah, any donation amount that you can give towards Race Against Dementia and support this race and this charity would be absolutely fantastic. But do I think that's ruined Pindalia's race? I'm not too convinced, actually. I think, even though, yeah, drive-through is really not very helpful. Anything can happen in this hour. We've seen it all happen before so far. Sinton is lapping rather quickly as Skyring is now in the pits. So where is Radmus coming up the hill? I think Sinton has got plenty of time. Unless they get a drive-through. Which again, not quite sure why that would be. But here is Skyring. Not making their way out quite yet. Lloyd has also come into the pits now. And there is Lloyd in P2. Now Lloyd could be a risk from Rabamus as Skyring leaves the pits. And Sinton is at the hairpin. So Skyring has got plenty of time. And it's doing well and should get past Jay Lloyd. There we go. So there is Lloyd in the pits now. And the car behind, Fabrice, is also going into the pits. And they have to be careful with that pit limiter getting a giving out drive-throughs. And here is Fabrice Lettermy, the Belgian. And we can just see that Lloyd is going out of the pits right there. No penalty given. So the only thing I can assume is that Pindalia did in fact get a drive-through. That's the only thing that I can think of. But here goes Pindalia Bass now. Or coming up to the hairpin, sorry. Car number 6. Where are you? Car number 6. Nope, that's in the pits. Pindalia, car number 3. Is now coming up to the final corner. So should be able to get up to P5, no problem. But maybe it was just a pit limiter blip that caused a bit of a problem for Pindalia. But Mayer is also just coming to the pit lane now. Currently sitting in P2, but that won't last long because here is P2. Rabbit, just as I stated. Now where is Lloyd? So Lloyd should move up into P3. Should be the operative word there. And Mayer still in the pits. And there goes Lloyd up into P3. Mayer, there they are, still sat in the pits. Probably get a few bits repaired as well because I have had a couple of spins. So the suspension might be a little bit damaged. And here is Pindalia, who could be on course for an on-track race with Mayer, who is just pulling out of the pits now. Now has Mayer gone through unscathed? They have. So it must have been something Pindalia did because everyone else seems to be going fine. And there is Pindalia in the background. So the battle for P4 is on. So Sinton, after pitting that early, is definitely lapping rather well right now. Still lapping rather quickly compared to the likes of Skyring up in P1 right now. And Sinton is looking rather consistent in that Porsche right now. Another person who's looking rather consistent is Lloyd, setting consistent 129s. So it'll be interesting to see how this last hour of this race goes and how people fare out. And Letterme has got a drive-through, and that can only be for track limits because they came out of the pits unscathed, so that must be track limits. So a drive-through penalty for Letterme, which will bring Watt back into the race somewhat. And there goes Fabrice Letterme, nice and slow in as Coulson drives by. Now where is Watt? Watt is currently having a bit of a tussle with a back marker, Grievous. No, not Grievous, sorry. Just Dennis. And Fabrice is back out on track fairly shortly. Coming out now. So can Watt get onto the rear end of Fabrice and gain track position, because Watt has just moved back up to P8, and this is what happened, you see. Offset the pit and is absolutely flying right now compared to the cars around him. And there is Letterme just going up the hill now past the old bridge. Apparently, I've just received my 10th donation. So thank you if that's someone in chat. That is very kind of you. I can't quite see what the total is now though. It still says 165.98, and it's not come up with any names or donations, so I'm not quite sure where that donation may have come from. I'll have to go and have a look. Oh, well, that link's not doing particularly well, is it? It's a bit of a rubbish link. We'll have to sort that out. And whilst I'm sorting that out, here's a little message from the Rad group and Sir Jackie Stewart, as we just see what missed the apex of T1.
When I was racing, Helen was always by my side. We've been married for over 60 years. In 2015, Helen was diagnosed with dementia. It's a cruel disease with no cure, but I want to change that. We're urgently looking for breakthroughs in the prevention and cure of dementia. We sponsor the brightest and best scientific talent from around the world. We're fast-tracking research by bringing Formula One innovation into the laboratories. Working faster and smarter, together we can beat this disease. 1 in 3 people born today will die with dementia. Every 3 seconds, another person is diagnosed with dementia. Worldwide, more than 150 million people will have dementia by 2050. Race Against Dementia supports early career scientists in their research around the world. Our scientists are supported by the RAD Leadership and Development Programme.
That's interesting to hear that from you.
Race Against Dementia is going about it the right way, invested in new talent. I think there's a lot that we could learn. Being hungry for change is the way to go.
Let's beat dementia.
And there we go. So the link has actually been updated now, because the one that was already assigned for some reason just takes you straight to the main page of Just Giving, which is not exactly what I wanted it to do. There we go. So if you wish to donate, hit that link below or in the one in the description. And anything that you can give will be very, very gratefully received. Right then, what's going on in the action? We've got 51 minutes left to go. Jay Skyring is currently in full control of this race. Rabbit Sinton in P2 is doing rather well, keeping up with Skyring with some good lap times, but starting to come off the pace a little bit now. The tyres are starting to wear. The car's still a little bit heavy. But for me, it's still a two-stopper race. Just to keep those tyres in good condition, but seems like people like Skyring are able to keep that car fairly pointy and doing well. But to be fair, when you've got a 20 or second lead, it's the way to do it. In P3, we've got James Lloyd, who is currently lapping about the same, if not a little bit quicker than our race leader. But they are 12 seconds behind, on average, behind Sinton. So I'm not entirely sure what they can do. In fact, it's got to be more than 12. And car number 8, Mark Coulson, has made a bit of an error at the chicane. It happens, especially if you get on the marbles. Because bringing car number 6, Lemmy, back into contention back there. And car number 5 is Watt, who is also now on the same lap as Lettermy and is currently setting 1 second a lap quicker. And Coulson's had a bad couple of laps here. Yeah, terrible lap there by Coulson, and even the lap before was not particularly great. Not ideal for the South African. Down the hill they go. Mayer sitting pretty in P4, who's currently missed the chicane and deciding a bit of rallycross is what they fancy right now. As car number 3, Pindalia, is close to getting lapped. Now Pindalia can maybe hold up Skyring as much as they like, although the blue flags will probably cause a little bit of a problem. And there you can see the marshals just waving the blue flags, telling Pindalia, come on, faster car coming through. Needs to let them through, but I don't think Pindalia is going to be quite so kind. We'll just keep an eye on this just for a moment, as Watt is really catching up to the rear end of Lemmy. In fact, I think they've got by. Oh no, they got by Coulson. So Coulson is having a bad time. I wonder if he's got a bit of damage, because that car, well, just seems to be not having a good time right now. And there's Lloyd behind as well, so maybe coming round to lap again. But Watt is on a bit of a mission. Oh, and Lemmy's rear end steps out there at the old hairpin, making it very awkward to get back on the power. And I think the move is inevitable, really. I mean, Lemmy is trying to defend, but I mean, it's not the place you want to attack, really. And Lemmy, oh, he's outbraked themselves. Like I said, it was inevitable, really. And Watt moves up into P6 after what was a awful start for them. So the two Aston Martins are really struggling an hour and 13 minutes into the race. It looks like Coulson It's going to try to move on Lettermy. And Lettermy's just really deep into that hairpin. And we have 3/4 of an hour left to race. Oh, and Lloyd in P3 has just run off a little bit, but luckily saves it. I mean, to catch up Rabimus now in P2, that far ahead, it's going to be rather tricky, but car number 9 will most likely pit again. But it will be a quick splash and go. So the race for P2 is on the go, and car number 5, Iwat, has gone off. Let's see if we can see what happened. Oh, just about rejoined safely. We didn't quite see what happened there. Runs a bit wide, gets on the grass and loses the rear end. But does manage to get back on board and get the car going again. So all that hard work to get to P6 has been undone. And now it's just going to have to keep the head down and just try and do what they can. Excellent recovery drive by Watt. Quick shout out to Justinas. Really good drive. Really good drive. For some reason still has the hazard warning lights on though. As Pindalia is doing their absolute best to hold up Skyring. And I would say it's kind of working. Except the fact that Skyring has just set a 128.717, so clearly not holding them up that much. But if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm Anders, the founder of Pretty Ninja Racing, and we're racing to raise funds for Race Against Dementia today. And any small donations that you can give will go to some much needed research to help try and find a cure and a better understanding of dementia and how we as a race can tackle it. Oh, it's Justinas had a bit of a wobble but gets out of the way. But the other moment that's also happening is that Pindalia is catching up P4 Mayor. So we may just be watching the same car right now, but at the moment, Pindalia is the one to keep an eye out for. So, what are my predictions? Well, I think Skyring is going to win the race. There's pretty much no doubt about that. In fact, Skyring can pretty much pit and it'll be absolutely fine. And just, you know, get some fresh rubber. Probably doesn't even need a splash of fuel, and that's probably the same instance for Rabimus. Rabimus probably just needs to pop into the pits, get some fresh rubber, and keep going to the end of the race. We're on lap 51 here, and the community's done an absolute wonderful job here, and keeping the entertainment value quite high. 2, 6 and 8, so that'll be Lloyd, who's now got in front of Lettermy and Coulson. Coulson is currently chasing down Lettermy. Watts must have made another mistake again, because they're now 11 seconds and they have front damage, so I've got a funny feeling they have had an incident, which is a shame. Depends if I use autopilot a minute. There's auto broadcasting, which has now put us straight to the race leader. And we will see what's what. So go on board with Skyring. Not a lot going on behind. But what an absolute epic drive from Skyring this is, and Just Dennis is in the pits, making their second pit of the day. Last 40 minutes, going to be nice and quick. And hopefully they haven't given up with 40 minutes left to go. I hope they haven't. Because they've driven brilliantly. Hope they haven't. But anyhow, Pindalia is still chasing down Mayer. And really, I think Skyring is going to try and get it to the end now. He can lose 2 seconds a lap. 10 laps. Maybe, yeah. In fact, actually, yeah, he could literally lose 2 seconds a lap now and still win the race. So, unless something drastic happens for Skyring, but can Pindalia make any gains? Oh, the front end really did not want to grip up there for Pindalia. Really push and try and crack down on Mayer. Mayer does miss the second part of the chicane there. Slow out of it, but seems to have got away with it for now. It'll be too long before Hewis is really giving Mayer a bit more stress, and it does look like that Just Dennis is retired from the race, been in the pits for quite a while. Such a shame. Now there's only a 30-second gap between Sinton and Lloyd right now. So if Sinton was to stop, it really does need to be a change of tyres and a splash and go. Oh, Pindalia is really trying to get the power down, and the rear end was just not having any of it. No, thank you. Oh, and it's gone. Pindalia push into the elements, trying to use all of the track width. And I tell you what, that's going to have ruined his tyres as well. And you can just see they're really trying to push. They can see there's only 37 minutes left on the clock now. And they're just trying to get that extra little bit. Pindalia will feel a little bit hard done by the drive-through, but he must have got it for a legitimate reason. This game doesn't really hand them out willy-nilly. But that is a shame for Pindalia. But for all we know, Pindalia might be able to stretch this stint to the end. May need to pit again. You just don't know. We just don't know what's going to happen in the next half hour. And if anyone understands that reference, let me know in chat. Or rather, I should say, anything can happen in the next 30 minutes. Because that's the actual expression. And if anyone knows what that is, let me know in chat. But again, as you can see, I'm plastering Race Against Dementia everywhere today because that's what this race is in aid for. So any small donations you can give will help towards our final target. I can see that we have had a donation come through, but it's not updated on the list of names, so I will have an actual direct look now, and if you're in the YouTube channel I will thank you. So we're now out to 176. Ian Sinton, great work PNR. Team Sinton are watching. Hello. Thank you very much for your £10 donation. It's going to a great cause. So, Team Sinton currently sitting P2. I would say he's looking pretty, but I haven't seen him before, so no idea. But I think Sinton is in a little bit of a rock and a hard place because we're both on the same sort of wavelength in regards to our racing styles. And I would definitely pit again with maybe 20 minutes left. Get some fresh rubber on, keep the car nice and light, try and get some 128s under my belt. Cement the position. The gap between them and Lloyd, I can't really tell through this little sort of thing that I'm using, but Lloyd is just crossing the start-finish line now. So, it must be at least 30 odd seconds. I wonder if I just press, like, is it going to give me... Yeah, so here we go. So the gap is 25 seconds, 26 seconds we can see there between Lloyd and Sinton. So it's quite small. It's a bit risky to pit. It might end up falling down to P3 unless Lloyd also pits, which then anything can happen. But we're on lap 56. All of these drivers have done incredibly well. Coulson is in the pits making a second pit stop, which is what I recommended offsetting. It just makes this last half hour just a little bit more stable and quicker. As I believe that was Watt's just gone by. No, Watt is already quite far up the course, so that must have been Skyring. Yeah, that went on by. Car number 3, Pindalia. Oh, he's having a bit of a horrible time with those tyres. You can really see the front end's really not happy. But Pindalia can certainly set up quali fuel. Quali kind of setup. Get some fresh rubber on. Light fuel load. And to hell or high water, absolutely gun it. As Coulson is now back out on track behind Rabamus. Oh, look at that rear end. It's really not happy. I don't think Pindalia is going to be able to do another half hour of this. The gap between them and Letterme, car number 6, is massive. Pindalia will easily be able to get some fresh rubber on, some light fuel load. Oh, and here we go, look at that. Call me Mystic Meg, because in the pits he comes. If he gets a drive through, I'll clear it this time around. I'll be nice. There's only 32 minutes left of the race to go. Might as well just quick splash and change. We'll see how quick this is, because it will give us an idea of what it'll be like for Rabbit. As Rabbit comes over the line to start lap 58. But Lloyd is making some good headway right now. Consistent low 129s. And when is Pindalia going to come out of the pits? We saw that it was just on 32. Might have a bit of damage. I said that he had loads and loads of space, but Lemmy has just gone by. So that took a lot longer than I thought it would do. So it must have had some damage. So Pindalia comes back out on track in P7. Even though it says P6 right now, he will drop into P7 because iWatt is, or Watt is literally just ahead of them in P6. There you go. It's updated. So he comes out in P7, but, and I say this with caution, fresh rubber, light car. Pindalia is going to be one to watch, I think. Going forwards, Lloyd has got the gap down to 23 seconds. And here is Lloyd in the BMW. It's been quick, but not consistent. It's been that age-old problem for Lloyd. And I can see that the donation bar has moved up again, so thank you very much. Quick refresh of the old Just Giving page. Owen, you're making a difference. Thank you very much, Owen. Thank you very much for your £5 donation. It means the world. Thank you. Thank you for starting to get donations rolling in. I'm very sorry that you're not seeing the GIF of Nigel Mansell eating a strawberry. I'm disappointed with the Just Giving elements that are created. We're now only £70 off our target. So if you're watching, you're brand new to PNR. My name is Anders. I'm our founder. We're 2 years old this year on the 27th of September. And usually we try to do a race for charity or something, a streaming session for charity at least. And this year we have chosen to do Jackie Stewart's Race Against Dementia charity. And to tell you a little bit more about it, it's Jackie Stewart himself.
When I was racing, Helen was always by my side. We'd been married for over 60 years. In 2015, Helen was diagnosed with dementia. It's a cruel disease with no cure, but I want to change that. We're urgently looking for breakthroughs in the prevention and cure of dementia. We sponsor the brightest and best scientific talent from around the world. We're fast-tracking research by bringing Formula One innovation into the laboratories. Working faster and smarter, together we can beat this disease. 1 in 3 people born today will die with dementia. Every 3 seconds, another person is diagnosed with dementia. Worldwide, more than 150 million people will have dementia by 2050. Race Against Dementia supports early career scientists in their research around the world. Our scientists are supported by the RAD Leadership and Development Programme.
That's interesting to hear that from you.
Race Against Dementia is going about it the right way, invested in new talent. I think there's a lot that we could learn. Being hungry for change is the way to go.
Let's beat dementia together.
So there we go. That is where your donations are going. It's to a fantastic cause. To a disease that I feel as a human race we don't truly understand. It's absolutely fascinating, and hopefully within our lifetimes we will figure out a cure to help those 1 in 3 of us apparently who will get dementia in the future. So your donations today will hopefully help to go towards groundbreaking research to help find a cure or a way to help prevent it, as we're now back to the racing action. And Pindalia, a bit of a squiggly moment coming out of the last corner as we're watching the rear end of Watt. The McLaren duo going at it. It's only 7 tenths behind each other. As we go down the hill. Such a cool little camera angle this is. Into the old hairpin. Such a fast downhill right-hander. Past the old bridge. Up to what is possibly one of the trickiest braking zones on the circuit. You get this fast left-hander into a very short straight line braking zone, into a relatively fast 90-degree right-hander. That from the way you're sitting in the car is slightly blind. And these two are absolutely going at it. Great pace as Sinton is in the pits. Where is Lloyd? Going past now. So Sinton, who is still currently in the pits, with 25 minutes left to go, is going to have a bit of work on their hands to try and catch up with Lloyd. As Mayer is quite far behind, so Rabimus doesn't need to worry about that. But the gap between them now is going to be quite somewhat. And I've got a funny feeling the BMW is doing rather well on their tyres as Rabimus is now coming out of the pits. And he should be absolutely fine. And here comes Rabimus out of the pits. Oh! And there's our race leader, Skyring. Just nipping in front of Rabba. With 24 minutes left to go. Who knows? The car that Rabba is battling is car number 2, Lloyd. Who is at the second to last hairpin. So quite a big gap between the two. As Rabba is keeping to the rear end of our race leader. I do feel like more cars will pit. I think the tyre strategy of an hour and an hour might come to haunt a couple of drivers. But in the Porsche, it does seem to chew through its tyres, so yeah, it's all about management, really. But you can see Rabimus is getting a lot better exit than our race leader, who was on 40-minute-old tyres. And there is a lot for Rabba to do, but P3 would not be a terrible result. Really would not be. And it looks like Pindalia has made their way by Iwatt at some point, as we were keeping an eye. Oh, and Watt has gone off the circuit, so that's probably what happened there, to be honest. And it does look like Watt does have a bit of front aero damage, so I've got a funny feeling Watt may have had a moment. We can watch the last minute. Yeah, no. No need. No need. You can see if anything else happened in this last minute. Coulson. Oh, and Just Dennis is back on track. That's lovely to see. Just a very long pit stop. Excellent stuff. And we will head back to the action in just a moment. Should be relatively soon. Now, because I could see the timing board, Rabba's last lap after the pit stop was quite rapid. It was really rather quick, and we're still not back with the live action. Here we are now. Rather fast lap time. So we've got a Porsche that's light on fuel, and fresh rubber. Many things could happen yet. Car number 2 on the mini-map, if you can see them on the right-hand side. That's Lloyd in P2. Quite a tall ask for Rabber. But to be fair, if Lloyd can just hang it out for the last few laps, Rabber is lapping roughly 2 seconds a lap quicker. 20 minutes left. I'm not convinced what is trying to fend off the leader. There's no need really. And what isn't racing Sinton either. So there's no need to go back at them really. They're not racing for position. And what comes into the pits, yeah, with that front splitter damage, it's worthwhile doing. And car number 8 is the one we want to watch out for on the mini-map. Mark Coulson still coming to chicane, so I think depending on how long the repairs are going to take, should be okay. But to be fair, Watt hasn't actually stopped in their pit box yet, so actually I've got a funny feeling Coulson is going to get Watt back. And here is our P2 driver, car number 2 as well. Car number 1 is in P1, car number 2 is in P2. Car number 3, however, is in P6, so that's that ruined. Just had to let the side down. Car number 3 just had to let the car side down. As here comes Lloyd to start lap 66, or their lap 66 rather, because Rabamus is making some good ground here. Lloyd just set a pretty decent lap down as well with 129.5, roughly on par now with Sinton. But Sinton's actually got past the race leader, so hopefully a bit of clear air will do them some good. Skyring could easily just pit if they were concerned at all. But to me, that BMW is looking rather chilled. Doesn't look mean at all. It looks as cool as a cucumber. But if you're new to the channel, thank you very much. Welcome to Pretty Ninja Racing. I'm Anders, the founder. And today we are racing for Race Against Dementia. We have 18 minutes left of our race. And we've got £70 to try and gain to reach our 250 target. So if you are able to leave a small donation towards a wonderful cause, that would be fantastic. We'd be very, very grateful. And if you're in chat and you're actually watching this and you've already made a donation, you're an absolute gem. Thank you very much for helping us with our goal. And the gap being pulled by Sinton to Skyring is rather large right now. And to give you an idea, Rabber has actually set the fastest lap of the race. Almost. So Rabber is on a mission. And that lap time, only 2/10 of the fastest lap of the race. And this is what Rabber's current consistent lap timing is. He is closing the gap to Lloyd, but it's just such a tall ask. So Rabber's just completed Sector 1 and Lloyd has just started Sector 3. So there's a full sector between them. I think Lloyd just can't pit. Because if Lloyd pits, is Rabber's P2. And bearing in mind, Lloyd started in the pits in this race because it glitched out. So Lloyd has done incredibly well here. And you could hear the early upshift, protecting those rear tyres, protecting that fuel load. Sorry, just getting some fluids in me. But if we go on board, listen to the early gear shifts. See, he's not absolutely revving that BMW. He's not massively putting his foot down. I'm not sure who that is in front. Car number 8, I think it is. So Coulson, oh, it's Lloyd almost had a bit of a tail-have moment as Coulson lets Lloyd through. The only thing that Rabbit can hope for is that this driver makes an error, really. The gap is rather large. In fact, let's have a proper look, shall we? Right, so Lloyd Rabbit is 53 seconds behind. So we are talking a full pit stop, really. Full pit stop behind. So Lloyd could, in theory, pit, come out, and have a nice tussle for the end of the race. But I highly doubt they're going to do that. They're going to try and cement this P2, get the job done early, and take P2. Who have we not looked at for a little while? Let's go and see the Belgian Letterman, who's currently sandwiched in between the race leader and Rabbit. And just so people at home know, Rabbit is still lapping quicker than Lloyd, but it's not enough. It's not enough. As Letterman goes off the circuit, rejoins relatively safely. But I tell you what, the one thing that all of them are going to say in chat is how physical and tiring this one was. Because Donington Park is not an easy circuit. And Watt is also doing rather well in this race. Great drive after a tricky start. But again, not giving up, and just on us. Again, not giving up. Just going for it. Still got the hazard lights on though. Since race start, they've had their hazard lights on. And fair play for carrying it through. That was a lovely apex. That was rather gorgeous. Very nice. I want to see that again, actually. I can't see it. Ah, I didn't go back far enough. That was absolutely beautiful how that car just drifted through that right-hander then. That's exactly how you want to tackle it. And Justin S is doing a rather lovely drive. Our race leader, Skyring. 71 laps at Donington Park. In VR, most likely, as well, because Skyring is a VR racer. Probably a very, very, very sweaty person, and Watt has gone off the track there after I just said that they were doing absolutely wonderfully. I'm just an absolute curse. An absolute curse in a bottle, I am. And Skyring is absolutely chilling. I think Skyring should pit. It's car number 5. That's what, again, just losing the rear end through the chicane. Now, if someone was to donate, let's say £20, I will give Skyring a drive-through penalty. But it has to happen within the next 2 minutes. I will do it for money. £20 donation. If someone gets us to £200 donated, I will give Skyring a drive-through. Because I'm horrible. And it's all going to go to a good cause. And quite frankly, even if I gave him a drive-through, he'd be absolutely fine. And I'll even put the reason, large donation. But that donation needs to come through soon. Or, if there was a particular driver you wanted to give a drive-through to, that can happen as well. Just leave that in the description of the donation. But it needs to be at least 15 to £20. Because I'm horrible, and I really want us to hit or get very close to our target. But as you can see, we don't have much time left, so if it's going to happen, it needs to happen soon. But here we are. We are down to the last 8 minutes of this race. They've all driven fantastically. And yes, it would be really harsh, Anders, to give someone a drive-through if someone gave us enough money to get us over £200 limit. It would be super harsh. But it would have gone to a good cause. £20, 20 USD, 20 euro. Any one of those, get it in. If you wanted to go to Skyring or if you wanted to go to J. Lloyd, get it in. We only have a few minutes remaining. I should have done that from the beginning, really. You know, donate, pick a car, pick a driver that you want to get like a drive-through or something like that. That's a good idea, actually. I need to remember that for the next time. But Skyring is delivering the goods right now. And so is Lloyd. And Rabbit, although he's still in P3, is still lapping faster than James Lloyd. But is not quite getting a slice. Now, I can't really do the drive-through with 5 minutes remaining. So if it's going to happen, get it in. ! Donate. Or check the link in the description below. And car number 5, where are you? I can see you're off, and there you are. Staying nice and out of the way. Nicely done, what? Whew. What's not having a great end to the race, bless them. But it needs to be a good sizable amount of dough for me to be able to destroy someone's race. So that's effectively what I'll be doing. But I'll do it for you because you don't need it. Right, is there any close on-track action? I don't really believe there is. Car 4 and 6, nope, they're not really racing. 7 and 2, nope, not really racing. But I hope you're enjoying these last moments of the race with me, and thank you very much for joining me, even if you don't leave a donation. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon on, depending on where you are in the world, it's rather gorgeous here in the UK right now. It's been a bit of a terrible week with weather, but right now it's absolutely beautiful. Very nice temperature, nice little white fluffy clouds up in the sky. We are loving life. 30 seconds. If we don't get a dono in 30 seconds, I can't do it. It would be very unfair. I'm going to refresh the page. Any donos? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do, 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 do. You got brake check, car undrivable, says what? Currently in the pits. Got brake checked. Okay. Not sure why someone would want to do that this late in the race. But I am sorry to hear that. What, you've had a great, well, apart from an awkward start, you've done a great recovery drive. Absolute solid job. But there's Nightbot. 4 minutes left of the race. Let's get those donos in. Keep going, what? Keep going. And Sinton is 26 seconds behind Lloyd. And I think now, realistically, if I was to give a drive through to Lloyd, it would put in P3. It's about 25-30 seconds to drive through. There's a very slow pit lane here at Donington Park. And here is Sinton in P3, sitting pretty. Mayer, he's been a bit quiet this race, sitting pretty in P4. All of these drivers should be super proud of themselves, really. 2 hours at Donington Park, flat out basically, for the duration, is incredibly good going. And the fact that we've raised £180 for Race Against Dementia is awesome. I would love to hit the £200 mark though, so if there's a generous soul out there that has never met this community before, don't worry about us. Just help us reach that goal and raise some funds to help research a cure for Race Against Dementia. And if you've already done it, don't do it again. I appreciate it. You've already done it once. It's more than enough. But let's get to that target. And Lettermy decided to take a look at the National Circuit chicane there. Car number 3 is lit up, so that's Pindalia. Currently a little bit of a yellow flag apparently, so must have had a little bit of an off. But that drive through, sadly for them, took them out of contention for the top split of the race. Mayer, car number 4, it's on the other side of the circuit, so again P5 It's probably going to be the best result that Pindalia is going to get with 1 minute 30 left. Skyring's coming through the chicane. The next lap will be the last one, so we'll ride on board for the last lap with the race leader. So here we go. Which one do we want? Let's have this one. See a little bit more.
The leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push.
There we go. It's the final lap of our 2-hour endurance race for Race Against Dementia. I feel like we've done incredibly well with the fundraising thanks to your help in chat. And if you're watching this back, not live, the link in the description below is where you can help us reach our 250 target. We will probably do another race for our 2-year anniversary, in which I'll keep the Just Giving page open till then. Not quite sure when that will be. But thank you very much to everybody that's donated. You're an absolute star. And it's for an incredible cause. It's the white flag lap, which means the last lap of the race. And Skyring is bringing it home in style. Absolute dominant is the word. And here we go. We're coming up to the last corner of the Pretty Ninja Race Against Dementia 2-hour Donington Park International Race. And Jason Skyring is going to take the victory. A fantastic drive by Jay Skyring. Well deserved. Got off the line really well. Made that gap really early on and just maintained it. Great drive. And James Lloyd will, unless something drastic happens, will take P2. Like, you know, I don't know, runs out of fuel or something like that. I'm joking. You think I'm kidding, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if his engine just cut out right now. And that was it. Because that's the sort of luck that James Lloyd would have. And James Lloyd comes to take P2 of the 2-hour of Donington Park. Great result for them. And here is Rabbe. As Mayer takes P4, Lettermy takes P6, Cosm takes P7, Watt takes P8. Justinas is going to be taking P9. And Pindalia will be taking P5. And Rabbe, I reckon, is rather happy with that result. And so they should be. And Pindalia gets P5. And where is Justinas? 12 laps behind. Had to sit in the pits for quite a while. Not quite sure what it was for. But well done, Justinas. You completed an enduro race. Absolute epic drive for Justinas. As everyone... Oh, that's quite nice. Everyone is lined up at the end for a photo. And here we go. Here is your racing drivers for the 2-hour endurance race for Race Against Dementia. Let me just pin it there a minute. Can I pin you there? Is it F11? I'm trying to remember which one it is. Is it F8? F9? One of them kind of opens it all up. But that was rather good, I think. Or let's make it blank. here we go. So there are your drivers for this event. There we go. Screenshot has been taken. Wonderful stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll return to the garage. Thank you ever so much for joining me on this awesome event that we've done. We will do another one to celebrate PNR's 2-year anniversary. We're only £20 off the £200 mark, and I feel like we can hit that with another stream. I feel like we can do it. So, one last time, here is Sir Jackie Stewart on why you should donate to this fantastic cause. My name is Anders. This is Pretty Ninja Racing. Thank you ever so much for joining me today, and I will catch you on the next race, which is actually tomorrow night. Bye.
When I was racing, Helen was always by my side. We've been married for over 60 years. In 2015, Helen was diagnosed with dementia. It's a cruel disease with no cure, but I want to change that. We're urgently looking for breakthroughs in the prevention and cure of dementia. We sponsor the brightest and best scientific talent from around the world. We're fast-tracking research by bringing Formula One innovation into the laboratories. Working faster and smarter, together we can beat this disease. 1 in 3 people born today will die with dementia. Every 3 seconds, another person is diagnosed with dementia. Worldwide, more than 150 million people will have dementia by 2050. Race Against Dementia supports early career scientists in their research around the world. Our scientists are supported by the RAD Leadership and Development Programme.
So that's interesting to hear that from you.
Race Against Dementia is going about it the right way, invested in new talent. I think there's a lot that we could learn. Being hungry for change is the way to go.
Let's be